Hi, I'm Rob Styler. I've been in solar since 2005, and I've been looking for this solution the whole time. So when I met Brian, I was so intrigued because I loved his conservative approach. He'd already been doing this for 4 years. He's doing about 1,000 deals a month right now. And I was looking for a way to really scale this up in the solar industry because with the high dealer fees and interest rates right now, this can really help us sell more solar. So the big question is residential solar a commercial transaction? So the homeowner produces the power. The homeowner exchanges power to the utility through net metering, a contract with a commercial business, and the utility credits the homeowner bill. This is called a barter transaction in the tax code. And when there's a contract, net metering, with a commercial company, the utility, with intent to profit, we can depreciate the associated asset. And it's been interesting since I started working with Brian. Suncrew is the marketing arm for RETE, and I started telling some people in the industry. I posted on some of the Facebook groups, and it's funny because the people who know the least about solar or have the least amount of traction in solar would often comment things like, yeah, if you want to break the law or whatever. And when I took it to the CEOs of the big companies, well, one of the biggest, I can't share their name just because of an NDA, but they said, Rob, let us look into this. We'll get back to you. And about 6 weeks later, they came back and said, listen, we spent 30 grand, both with inside and outside counsel looking into this. We're comfortable. We're going to recommend you to one company that's doing about 300 to 400 deals a month that we work with to see how that goes smooth. And then if that goes as we expect, we'll open it up to all of our contacts, which is huge. So please do yourself a favor. Don't take a knee-jerk reaction and really look into this because the tax code is very clear. RETE has tax attorneys, CPAs, masters. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. And just do your homework. You'll understand why this works. So the advantages of a commercial ITC. Most important, you can depreciate the system. So you have a lower overall cost to the customer. It works just like the ITC. They get a deduction on their taxes. You can also deduct the loan interest, which is a big deal as interest rates have gone up. The system does not have to be completed as of December 31st to claim the commercial ITC. If you're an installer, I'm sure you've had that pressure at the end of the year where clients are calling you going, it needs to get done, it needs to get done. You just need 5% complete for a commercial ITC. Now, this is not a free ride with the IRS. The customer must claim the profit as income. We show them how to do that at the end of the year. The good thing for you is there's no risk. The contract's between the customer and RETE. RETE is a fiduciary, and their fiduciary responsibility is to your customer, not to you. RETE will also defend your customers with the IRS. If there ever is an audit, RETE will actually fly out and present to the IRS, defend with the IRS, because the last thing we want is some H&R Block accountant that hasn't studied this. I mean, this has been Brian's life for the last 4 years. He knows this inside and out. So we offer that protection to your customers. So let's do the math. Typically, you have the ITC, so you'd have a $35,000 net system cost. Renewable energy is the only part of the tax code, or one of the only, that you can add half of that credit back to get what's called the depreciable basis. Then what we do is we multiply that depreciable basis by their tax bracket. And we have a calculator online where you can determine it. We just ask some simple questions. One thing we don't want is for your salespeople to try to become tax experts. That's the worst thing that can possibly happen. You want to stay as far away from that as possible and just say, hey, we have a referral relationship with a CPA firm that specializes in renewable energy. They'll make sure you get the best amount of tax benefits you can, and leave it at that and let the professionals do their work. So in this case, they would get an additional $9,500 in deductions off their taxes. So if you add it up, they're now getting $24,500. About half their system cost is getting deducted from their taxes if they have enough tax appetite. We're also working on some solutions that they don't have a tax appetite, and we'll announce that, because one of the nice things with the commercial ITC is you can actually sell those tax credits. So we're working on those partnerships. So here's the calculate later. You can do that online. I'll send you a link. And each customer is going to be different. What we recommend is if they don't get a large depreciable incentive, what we say is, somewhere between 2 to 3 grand. If it's above 3 grand, it's most likely worth it. 2 to 3 grand is questionable. Below 2 grand, I personally wouldn't do it, but the calculator will determine that for you. During the sales process, you treat it like an adder. If there's not a big enough gain, just don't do the adder. What they get an initial consultation with our team of CPAs. They get all the tax forms and schedules, and then they get a follow-up consultation for themselves or their CPA. So here's what the tax packet includes. We file a 3468 ITC, which is a commercial ITC, not the one you're used to. You can also see they get a warranty letter from RETE. So if they are ever audited by the IRS, RETE will fly out and defend them with the IRS. So how do you start? You sign an engagement letter. There's no obligation with that or anything. It just creates a clear contract and relationship. One thing that's really important is you have to make it very clear that you are not involved at all on the tax side. You are either a sales org or you're an installation company. You have nothing to do with taxes, and we make that very clear in the contract. We create a portal or integrate with your software. We're already integrated with Open Solar. We're working on some other of the large names right now, but we can usually just create it as an adder, which is pretty simple. Your salespeople order the consultations. Our contract is with you as either a sales org or an installation company. You pay us after M2, so it does not affect your cash flow. But what we do is we bill you in a bulk amount. So we'll say, hey, your team ordered 100 consultations this month. This is what you owe us. The packets sell for $750, and that's why we say, if they're not making more than 2 grand, just don't do it, because they're not getting enough benefit out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I look forward to discussing this. We just had a company sign up this past week, and they called me up yesterday. They said, Rob, it's only been a day and a half, but we sold more in this day and a half than we ever have in our history. And being able to depreciate the asset is a game changer for us. So I look forward to hearing that story from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.